records are loud. He did voice, you know how it is. Why is he up in your studio? One time, let's go, boys. Holla.
Pera, menso, ulekala, what guys? Welcome to another edition of NamRequest. I'm bringing out my street swag today because you know what? We hit the streets one more time to take your favorite local requests. Now, if you see our camera guys out there, make sure to reach out to them and request for your favorite jam, and we'll play them right here on NamRequest.
Boy, Jeff, that chocolate, is of a complex on standard soccer. Anoshike no Shane Damonga, Shafumba Shamtenya exit to my homies in Ondangwa. The bigger place in Katutura.
What's up, man? I go by the name of Freddy. I'm an RCB request. I'm from Nam, the 061 the area. Yeah, I want to shout out to my nigga from the HP too, man. And I want to request a song from the CUP crew, the new album. I just slightly forgot the song's name, but I shall find out about the new one, the new video that they shot this year.
Economy. Tú tengo algo economy. Tú tengo algo economy. Tú tengo algo economy. Tengo algo economy. Tengo algo economy. Tú tengo algo economy. Tú tengo algo economy. Tú tengo algo economy. Tú tengo algo economy. I stand back for me and large. Pray to God when He follow me. Dream I send for the poverty. Working hard, investing property. Bad vibes, we just keep them out. Too fresh when I leave the house. We want chance, we want big amounts. I thank God for the bank account. For the account, yo. Bad girl, you are the fool. Fighting on my enemies. Tú tengo algo economy. Tú tengo algo economy. 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 At Congo bongo, say oh hatu longo. All for the shako. Yeah, for the dollar, money and the power. Polo atu jala. Kapena shonjala, yeah. When I'm kunda, pulled up in the new car, too fresh like a concha, yeah. Tu tengo algo economy, 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 tu tengo algo economy. Tengo algo economy. Tú tengo algo economy. Kalina
shenyanu tulongele ni kumwero kazi yesiso utapanjalanga emachivo za seloksini Now I observe protocol. My business is critical, but they make it political, strategical. Kana kagino kwera shapumbo la loko. Otolegwa, kotokulukuta. We run this thing on a daily. I just made the media go crazy. I'm about to make the world go crazy. Make it at home, you can make it anywhere. Uno no valo, rockers underway. Uno no valo, rockers underway. Uno no valo, rockers underway. Struggle anyway. Why? Suffer at home, you will suffer everywhere. The choice is yours. Of mind, I will succeed. Ojemizo nga no stuta banchwana bakara sama molokshini toti to kanista, but God still wants us alive. Ish, life goes on.
Take your request to play them right here on NamRequest. So when you see how people be nice, asseblief tog nie 'n glasie water. Die tombo nie though. No tombo. Asseblief, these people are working. They're not supposed to be drinking. Anyways, talking about working, let's see these musicians doing their thing with the music videos.
This one is going out to my family members, my sisters, my brothers, my mother, everything is going to my family. The song I want to give to you, it is Waka Going Home.
Yo, it's your boy AVG, and you're locked into the NamRequest show. I just want to request a song by 061 Crew, Down for the Nana, and it goes out to all my peeps in 061. Keep the love, spread the love, strong.
There comes a time when you just miss home so badly, man. And when that time comes, you feel like giving up the city life and just go back home, man. Yeah.
I've been searching, I've been looking. There's no place like home. Kulu, Namekulu, I'm going home.
And I've been searching and looking, but there's no place like home. To my father and my mother, I'm going home. I check my time. Namona kujambole vimbolaya, time don't lie. If you I'm gonna leave everything. I'm additional gilet when you're daja. On the no julufi and I feel. On the kumbandikala moshapa. When you're the gado shifi machisho mahangu. When you're kuno mafelende mange mahapu. When you're the gapeo maele kutate cool. I feel blessed, yes I am blessed.
Andi pakele, tuka kolefa. Tieke umbo, tika tale mekuru. Andi pakele, tuka kolefa. Tieke umbo, tika tale na meme. I've been searching, I've been looking. There's no place like home. Kutate kulu, na mekulu. I'm going home.
And I've been searching and looking, but there's no place like home. To my father and my mother, I'm going home.
I've been searching, I've been looking. There's no place like home. Kutate kulu, na mekulu. I'm going home. I was young and restless. I was busy chasing city lights. Nenda yo kutondoka. Hatulunti lo skola. Pay fam on da loloka. Ini halo kutondoka. Wamkulu wanalo kwatile. Utake umbo ke umbo. Nandengo ufaduke po. Ukongo unokushuna. Ani pakele. Tuka kolefa. Tieke umbo. Tika tale mekuru. Ani pakele. Tuka kolefa. I've been searching, I've been looking. There's no place like home. Kutate kulu, na mekulu. I'm going home.
And I've been searching and looking, but there's no place like home. To my father and my mother, I'm going home.
I've been searching, I've been looking. There's no place like home. Kutate kulu, na mekulu. I'm going home.
And I've been searching and looking, but there's no place like home. To my father and my mother, I'm going home.
This goes out to that perfect lady.
Whoa.
I love the way you walk. I love the way you talk. Infinities on the drums, kicks and snares. What's up, are you kid? M. Dwayne, you ready, kid? Get it.
You know the ones that go when they talk, you know the ones that go when they talk, you know the ones that go when they talk, you know the ones that go when they talk, you know the ones that go when they talk, you know the ones that go when they talk, you know the ones that go when they talk, you know the ones that go when they talk,
I know one, when she talks, she makes her fingers snap. Arguing in public, trying to beef the cat. Catch me with another chick, most deaf, she gon' fight. Give me wet neck kisses, trademarks is love bites. A real ghetto girly, I nicknamed her Shirley. I never bred, keep her 4-pack by the bed. If anything goes wrong, I know she'll be there. A ghetto version of Barbie in a teddy bear. She jumps with me in any beef, she not scared. If I bleed, then she bleeds till the end, you dead. She's got a little sound in her voice when she talks, and she really swing that booty every time that she walks.
You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know.
When shorty pass by, you look again. Shorty so fly, shorty she a 10. She likes hot cars and parties everywhere. She be the type that can handle businessmen. I saw her out the corner of my eye. Ass like, damn, I'ma need an alibi. Center of attention, shorty doing the thing right. Acting like she don't know, niggas ain't full sight. You wanna win, her better have a strong case. She won't settle if the pockets are unlaced. Payments with the credit card, a diva for sure. A princess, best dressed, hair did with manicure. You know the type.
You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go.
This is Kawe, this is the one. No, this is the
Nee, ben nou moet je al weet. Say moan en je ken, say click al werk. Comment on my status when groupies act fools. Coming for these haters to beef, but I'm cool. Under pressure, yeah, that's what I do. Gotta confess, yeah, she booty fool. Damaranama, just click. Trust me though, she's so damn thick. Double milkshakes, got nothing on her. All up in my face with her hand like, oh, duh. Now she sour, dipped in all my head, it won't lie. She got that huge stare.
You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go. You know the ones that go. You know the ones that go.
You already know it.
You know the ones that go.
You know it. You already know what it is.
You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know. You know the ones that go when they talk, you know.
When they talking, oh, talking, what it is, whoa.
Win free airtime with hashtag #LearnOn1. Share your comments on the lessons. WhatsApp your feedback, name and town to 081 200 6659. Hashtag #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Welcome back to NamRequest. RIP to Catty Cat, man. I was just checking out that 061 music video and I really miss the guy. And the whole industry does too, you know. He's one of those rappers who really imprinted his name in the industry. And we just want to send once more our condolences to his family. Now, on a lighter note, don't forget that our social media page is alive and well and waiting for you to go post there on our wall on Facebook, to go tweet us on Twitter, and to go like our stuff on Instagram. All you have to do is like our pages on all social media platforms, so you are ready to get whatever we share on there. Back to the music.
Hi, my name is Latoya. I would like to request any song by Adora. This goes out to my brother and my sister. Bye, guys.
Hello, my name is Angelo. I would like to request a song by Jericho. So I would like you all to enjoy the song by Jericho. Thank you.
Tweezy, baby. Ghetto child. It's another one. It's another one. It's another one. I'll be there and never show up. Why would I say that I care and never show love? I'm not a man of empty promises. Why would I say things for the fun of it? Come on, that's ridiculous. To my fans, you the people that made me. Without you, they can never be. I started. It's top I'm I talk, come on, man. I talk, do you feel this shit? I talk, still represent. This one's to my number one fan. I promise that will always be you. As long as you try, I'll always be you. I see the future full of obstacles, but nothing can stop me. Even if I fall today, my fans will always catch me. Without you, I cannot be who I wanna be. You open doors for me, cause you got the keys. Without my fans, I'm nobody in this industry. This industry seems to be nothing without me. Check to the tours, bra. That's what it is, bra. Ghetto child, bra. Jericho, bra. Hey, it's another one. It's another one. It's another one. Come on, show. I promise that will always be you. As long as you try, I'll always be you. It's a check-chapra. Ik beloof ik is daar. Just as long ons is samen. Just come follow me.
You make my heart go pity, pity, pum, pum. Yeah. You make my heart go pity, pity, pum, pum. Yeah. You make my heart go pity, pity. Yeah. Dr. Malika, wanna take you to Krakow, my Becky. Let's pack our bags and hit the road. Just you and the P.R. Ooh, my dark chocolate. Let me take you to Krakow, my Becky. Let's pack our bags and take the train. Just a P.R. And I want you to see, you and I were meant to be. To forever you and me, I'll forever be your queen.
Welcome back. That was Adora and Jericho as requested by our very lovely Namibian folks out there. Don't forget, if you spot our cameras, make sure you tap them on the shoulder and say, yo, Mr. Camera Guy, a song for me, please. And also send me a shout out. Hello, I'm also a human being, boss.
In a time of uncertainty, false news, and fear, learn on. While the world scrambles to make new sense, while the experts turn around in circles, trying to find their way back to tomorrow, learn on. When classrooms become empty cathedrals and the trees start to bear answers, learn on. Learn on. Until every parent is a teacher and every teacher is a mentor. Learn on until you cross the boundaries of your mind, until you grow eyes and sprout wings. My friend, learn on. On sidewalks, on the floor, at the neighbors, in the market, in hallways, in churches, under trees, at kitchen tables, in riverbeds. Learning doesn't only happen between four walls. Learning happens in the small space of your enormous, beautiful mind. Start where you are. Use what you have. Learn on one. Invite learning in.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Eco Africa. I am Sandra Twinovideo coming to you from Kampala here in Uganda. Well, it has been nearly 5 years since this show focusing on environmental issues first went on air, and we're looking forward to reporting on more and more amazing projects and great ideas for protecting and improving the world we all live in. as well as drawing attention to the problems that urgently need solving. Well, here are some of the topics coming up on the program. Eco-friendly transportation technology made in Africa, an example from Kenya. Popcorn and why it's not just for eating, as scientists in Germany will demonstrate. And nature conservation in South Africa, inspiring young people to protect wildlife. But first, we head to Namibia. More than 20% of the country is under conservation management. It is home to incredible variety of rare and endangered species of animal, including the cheetahs. The super fast cats need a very specific kind of environment to breed, hunt and maintain their body temperature when it gets very hot. The trouble is that they often live near rural communities and cause problems for people and their livestock. Now, researchers have found a way for farmers to drastically, of course, reduce their livestock losses without killing the beautiful big cats.
A rare sighting of wild cheetahs in Namibia. The country has the largest free-ranging population of cheetahs in the world, but according to recent research, still their numbers are low.
Here the population is threatened because it doesn't occur inside of national parks but on commercially used farmland. This obviously leads to conflict, as the cheetah occasionally prey on livestock of the farmers.
Cheetahs' population numbers across Africa have dropped to less than 7,000 worldwide, as their habitat is lost to farmland and housing construction. Poaching and illegal trading cubs pose a further challenge. And because cheetahs attack livestock, they also get killed by farmers. Scientists from Germany's Leibniz Institute have found a way to reduce that conflict. They spent more than a decade studying cheetahs in Namibia. Part of their study involves putting radio collars on the animals and monitoring their movements. The team noticed that the cheetahs always return to certain areas, a practice passed on from one generation to the next.
They visit these territories and mark within the territory, so we call these centers of the territories where the marking trees are, we call them communication hubs, because the territorial males, they use these trees and also the others in the region around. So these territories are very stable, they are always there. And even if the territory holders disappear, die, then the new territory holders are on exactly the same place.
This allows the scientists to identify areas where cheetahs congregate. They then advise the farmers not to put their livestock in those places.
It's about 10% of the area that is highly dangerous because the concentrations of the cheetahs is very high, and about 90% that is much less risky for the farmers and their cattle.
The farmers that have moved their cattle out of harm's way now lose far fewer animals to the big cats.
This simple adjustment reduced the livestock losses by more than 80%. And that solved the conflict for the farmers and for the cheetahs in many cases.
Reducing the conflict between humans and animals means more cheetahs survive, and that has other benefits too. These powerful predators help keep the populations of grass-eating animals under control, thus preserving and maintaining the ecological balance of the savanna.
What incredible creatures, and what a great idea to promote peaceful coexistence between the wild animals and the humans. Our next report is about a really interesting venture in South Africa. It aims to help communities live alongside animals in the wild, as well as offer professional opportunities. It is called the Tracker Academy, and as the name suggests, it trains disadvantaged rural people in the traditional skills of wildlife tracking.
Zukisani Kabalaza and Mpilo Mashaba are looking for their special friends in the dense bushland of the Lapalala Game Reserve, north of Johannesburg. A group of rhinos is hidden somewhere here.
This is the front toe. Pens.
Spurs on the ground, twisted twigs and droppings lead them to the animals. They're professional trackers.
Our ancestors, they were doing this tracking thing for living, for meat, they were hunting. They do it. They started it. We are just carrying on their food, but in a different way, because they were doing it for food. We are doing it for the world, not to kill, but to protect.
Trackers play a critical role in keeping the animals in the reserves safe. South Africa has nearly 80% of the world's rhino population and has been hardest hit by poaching. But since 2014, thanks to strict security measures, reserves have halved rhino killings, from 1,200 animals to about 600 in 2019. To keep his animals safe, conservation manager Herman Müller does not only rely on devices.
But then we do a lot of monitoring work, especially on conservation, important species like rhino, some of the big cats and so on. Where we utilize various forms of technology to try and track these animals and keep tabs on these animals, but technology fails on you from time to time, and then we have to revert back to the basic tracking skills.
The Samara Reserve is part of the Great Karoo, a semi-desert region with characteristic wildlife, vegetation, soil and climate conditions. The reserve is also one of 3 training grounds for a very unusual tracker academy. Today is examination day. Lebogang Matebula has to show his instructors he can track an antelope in the semi-arid Karoo biome.
It's a front one, because even when you check here in front here, the little bit blunt.
A good tracker reads the environment and develops an intuitive feeling for the ways and habits of animals. Droppings are just one of many signs they read. Finally, Lebogang Matebula finds his target hidden in the bushes.
I grew up in the bushes area, that side in Mpumalanga, so I see a lot of animals, the smallest one. So, and then you know that the biggest animal like rhino and everything, they are inside the reserve. So I was getting that motivation of I want to go to learn about those animals and everything.
The Academy is an NGO that offers free training to 24 young rural people from various African countries each year. Realizing that only a few traditional trackers remained in southern Africa, Alex van Heerfer started the school 10 years ago with the help of a private sponsor. Meanwhile, the Academy gets thousands of applications per year.
This one.
We are training trackers for the benefit of conservation and for the benefit of an ancient culture, and to improve the lives of the students that come through our program.
And it is proving successful. 94% of all graduates are employed. And the trackers are needed. Many iconic animals like crocodiles, leopards and cheetahs remain critically endangered. After a long day of working and learning in the veld, the pupils return to the boarding house for supper. Many of them heard of the Tracker Academy through people from their villages who went through the program and subsequently found work in the reserves. They hope that they too will one day be a role model for their peers back home.
What's up, world? This is Shay, the goddess of the airwaves, on 99 FM, Monday to Friday, serving you breakfast on the ignition between 6 and 9. We brought you to be inspired, taking you to master your destiny. Now it's time to do the work.
Just show up.
Put on your work boots and do the time.
Make it
and then make it better.
Hello world, it's your boy Script here on The Kingdom, where we're reminding you every single day.
Get up. You've got this. Start where you are.
Hey, this is your girl Treza on Hitsville on 99 FM, letting you know it's okay.
Try. Make mistakes.
Awesome. I am Sibo and I'm going to be with you for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining us here on your inspiration station, where we let you know
there's no easy money, there's no easy job, there's no easy life.
99 FM. Do the work.
Well, the world could be on the verge of a boom in solar energy. In 2018, it accounted for 2% of worldwide electricity usage, and its share is growing fast. Experts say solar and wind are said to be the most sustainable sources of renewable energy in the southern hemisphere. The International Renewable Energy Agency says that over the past decade, costs for solar have dropped by 80%. Let us now go visit an energy provider that is building the biggest solar park in Germany.
These panels are pretty easy to install, but there are thousands of them still to go. In the countryside near Berlin, Germany's biggest solar park is taking shape. 500,000 modules built on metal frames. 100,000 mounting posts. 250 kilometers of cable. 150 fitters working on behalf of one of Germany's biggest energy companies.
Here in Brandenburg, we definitely have the potential to complete projects of this scale. But rather than size, it's the viability of the project that counts.
This solar park is the size of 225 soccer pitches. Facilities in Europe tend to be smaller because they compete with agriculture for the land. But solar parks alone aren't enough. Here in Germany, there are 19 million apartment buildings and houses. That's a lot of roof space. And an ideal place for solar panels. An entire industry has been built around installing them.
Nowadays, the systems are very affordable and economical to run, since you basically don't have any maintenance costs. The installations have become so affordable to install that they quickly pay for themselves.
Mark Schwarz owns a house with a rooftop solar system. In many cases, the system actually produces more energy than a household needs.
One of the things that makes it financially worthwhile is that the costs of heating your house or heating your water are pretty low.
The equipment pays for itself in just a few years. After that, the electricity produced is essentially free. Mark Schwarz's energy needs do exceed what he produces, though. That's because his family have 2 electric cars that need to be recharged. Solar energy is expected to see significant growth in Germany. By the time the last coal-fired power station is switched off in 2038, there would have to be 5 times as many rooftop solar systems and parks as there are now to cover energy needs. Solar energy would then account for 1/4 of the country's power output. Back to Germany's biggest solar park project. 10 years ago, the operating company was one of the biggest nuclear power producers in the country. They still run several coal-fired plants, but that will soon be a thing of the past.
These new energy sources will have to fill the gap. They've become a central pillar in our portfolio. Since 2012, we've seen growth in all new and renewable segments, including wind, both offshore and onshore, as well as solar. These technologies will account for about half of our output by 2025.
The solar panels just keep on coming, day in and day out.
Talks of sustainable mobility tend to focus on big cities, on ways to reduce traffic congestion and pollution, and of course make life better and easier. There are many ventures and projects in Europe and quite a few here in Africa as well. Let us now take a look at a really practical innovation that was developed in Kenya.
These hand carts often weigh several hundred kilos, and here in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, exhaust and noise are another problem for day labourers. Kenneth Gwantai's invention could make life easier. It's an electric-powered cart that goes faster and can carry more.
We invented a system that will enable this electric handicap to self-recharge while in motion through kinetic energy. Thus, it means that if you are working with it, the more you move around, the more it is able to charge itself, meaning that it doesn't use fuel, it doesn't pollute the environment, so it is eco-friendly.
In addition to sparing the environment, the new vehicle can move at up to 7 kilometers an hour without using much manpower. Its ability to power itself is kinetic energy at its best, and a big help for users.
Imagine a situation whereby you are walking in a town and everything is totally quiet. The environment there is totally clean.
To achieve this, Gwantai developed his electric rickshaw. Unlike noisy diesel tuk-tuks, this version rolls through Nairobi almost silently and without emissions. It also carries 5 instead of 3 people.
We want to diversify to other products that can utilize our technology. May it be vans, may it be in buses. Once we get there, we will be able now to develop one of the major electric mobility companies in Africa.
On top of that, it's produced sustainably, since all components of the electric vehicles come from the region.
And how about you? If you're also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.
A lot of the things we use in our day-to-day life are made from oil, plastic and fossil fuels, as you viewers no doubt know. And that is bad for the environment. Exhaust fumes from the cars and trucks, plastic trash in the oceans, or piling high in landfills. And those are just a couple of examples. It is a terrible problem. Scientists are looking for alternatives and sometimes come up with great ideas and products. There is a professor in Germany who's doing seemingly magical things with popcorn.
This building is getting added thermal insulation and damp-proofing from polystyrene foam. Every year, over 10 million tons of this synthetic material are turned into everything from facade cladding to disposable bowls and cups and packaging. But while extremely useful, the downside of the material is that it is essentially non-biodegradable and takes centuries to break down. And as it does, it releases minuscule particles into the ground and our water supplies. This man has a plan to replace the plastic pollutant. Since 2008, Alireza Karazipur and his team have been looking into an environmentally friendly alternative, popcorn.
It's similar to polystyrene foam. It consists of a mass of cavities filled with air. You can see them when you dissect a piece of popcorn and examine it under the microscope. That's what makes it so light.
The researcher and his team have already used popcorn to create kitchen furniture. They are showing manufacturers the range of potential applications for popcorn. The first step is to turn it into a mass of granules, all the same size. The original maize is grown in Germany. While that is land-intensive, on the plus side, the material will help to reduce fossil fuel consumption.
And you can eat it. It tastes a lot like popcorn, except there's no sugar, salt, or chocolate, of course. So the taste is a bit boring.
The granules are then pressed together to form sheets or panels, with plant protein providing the bonding agent, as opposed to synthetic chemicals. This makes the material compostable and even suitable as animal fodder. The team are pioneers in the field. They also use a hot air gun to compare the thermal conductivity of polystyrene foam to that of popcorn, and then measure the heat that penetrates through to the back. In the case of polystyrene foam, the sensor reads 28 degrees Celsius, while the popcorn board is even better at absorbing the heat. Here, the reading is under 25 degrees.
You can fit wooden houses with the panels, in the walls or on the facades. You can also use them as insulation for solid-walled buildings.
And the popcorn material also performs better in the flammability test. The polystyrene burns up at a frightening speed, immediately beginning to melt and release toxic gases. Subjected to the same flame, the panel of popcorn barely catches fire. Alireza Karazipur is happy to pass on the fruits of years of research on the material. He hopes to see environmentally friendly products made from popcorn replacing polystyrene foam on a large scale, and the sooner the better. The first popcorn packaging is due to go on the market in the fall of 2021 and will hopefully help to reduce the world's growing mountains of plastic waste.
New technologies can certainly make our lives easier, but when the internal combustion engine was developed in the 19th century, no one imagined the air pollution and serious health issues it would later cause. That is why today many innovators are committed to finding eco-friendlier ways of powering machines, and when these innovations help to counteract climate change, then wait to see for yourself.
Withered corn husks aren't uncommon in Rwanda these days. The current drought has lasted months, and the increasingly extreme weather threatens the livelihoods of local farmers, especially those in the eastern part of the country. It's apparent that climate change is real and increasingly dangerous. The farming seasons that people are used to are no longer predictable. At times, it rains where one expected drought, or drought instead of rains. It's confusing. You can't just farm and have hope of having harvest. Luayitu Nyampeta is one farmer who has been fortunate during these hard times. Her fields are near a river, so she's been able to pump sufficient water to her crops. But the diesel needed to power the pumps is expensive, and the exhaust that is emitted as a result contributes to greenhouse effect. Researchers and technology experts from a Rwandan startup have developed a solar-powered irrigation system. The high-tech project was financed by a US aid organization and the Rwandan government. The new irrigation plant came at just the right time for 40 farmers from a cooperative in the Ungoma district. The drought made agriculture more difficult, and the cost of renting the diesel pumps nearly consumed the meager earnings. We ended up spending much of our earnings on buying fuel while using the fuel pumping generators. There's little left for our livelihood. Now, we have gotten rid of all those expenses. We only need to deploy someone to water the plants. Due to the more affordable irrigation, farmers can now tend larger areas of land and keep farming all year. Their yields are much higher as a result. I was only harvesting 50 kilograms of beans and 2 bags of sorghum each season. Now, with solar irrigation, the yield volume has multiplied by 3. I'm considering expanding my farming even more. Solar-powered irrigation systems should be up and running in all 30 districts in the country by the end of 2021. The startup that builds the solar irrigation system has also developed a system to measure the temperature and moisture of the soil. Sensors calculate the exact amount of water needed by the plants. Farmers are then notified via an app about when and how much they should water their crops.
The plants need to get the optimum of what they need. That's why we believe when they use this technology, they are going to improve their production. And it has been tested to be a success in the pilot phase we have been doing.
This pilot system is powered by solar energy as well. Now the farmers know exactly which plants need water and how much they need. For the time being, they're improvising with plastic bottles, which will soon be replaced by water hoses.
It looks like technological advances will be key to our future. That is all for today's show. Thank you all for being with us. Hope to see you again next week. We'll be back with more exciting stories about nature and conservation. I am Sandra Twinodio, signing off from Kampala, here in Uganda.
Hey, what's new? This is What's New, the show packed full of news and stories just for you from BBC Africa. Want to see more? Here we go. 10 years after the protests of the Arab Spring, young Tunisians are marching in the footsteps of their elders. What is it like living in the country most affected by COVID on the continent? We'll be speaking to young people in South Africa almost a year after the first case of coronavirus there.
I feel like we're just tired of the virus. We are tired. People are getting changed.